guys, Sophia here from My Great Challenge. Welcome back to my channel. This is part 5, I think, part 5 of my basement staircase makeover. Today I'm going to start the wall on the other side. It's going to be really complicated. I'm hanging on by the edge of my seat here. I'm really not sure whether or not what I've planned is going to work, but let me show you what the plan is first. Okay, so if you've been following the series from the beginning, you know that I finished this last week. I actually put more putty, that's why it looks the way it does right now. I didn't paint anything. I'm just reputtying all of the angles and seams and areas where I really want it to be smooth. However, today I am doing this, and I'm going to start with this wall right here. I have a pipe, and then I have another wall, and then I have the wall on top. So here's the plan. The plan is to have the beadboard go all the way down to the bottom, cover this entire wall here. Then I'm going to encase the pipe, box it in so you don't see it. So I will have a ledge here, kind of like a little shelf. Not that I want to put any decorative items or anything, but we never know. Then I have another wall here that's concrete. These are all the foundation walls of the house and the basement. That's going to be covered with beadboard. And then again, I have another ledge here that's slanted, and I have the sill here for the house that used to support a floor, but that no longer does. So there's going to be another boxed in area right here, and Lashif is fooling around. What are you doing with my supplies? So what I'm going to do for this video is this wall, the bottom part. I have several things that I need to do before I start the beadboard. I have to cover this pipe and insulate it, and then I have to remove this here, and this is going to probably take a long time because this is the rubber thing they put on to cover the little trench that goes all around the perimeter of the house straight into the sump pump, which is on the other side. Now, if you're familiar with that kind of setup, basically if there is any water that seeps through the walls or water that floods the basement, the water goes into the little trench that's behind this. That's what this holes in there, right? And then the sump pump technically is at the lowest point of the house, so the floor in the basement is always going to be slanted. So the water will always run towards the sump pump, which is at the exact opposite corner of this on the other side. This exists all around, even on the areas that have been boxed in and sheetrock. So if I remove this and I cover it, it's really not going to be much of a big deal because the rest of the basement has this all around it anyway. Yeah, so I have to remove that. And the problem is this thing here, I have no idea what this is. I think it looks like glue or something. So I have to remove all of that and give myself a really nice flat surface. Yeah, so let me start with removing this thing. So you can see the little trench that's behind, and I've tried to paint it, right? It's technically it's black. It's like a black rubber thing. And I tried to paint it to kind of hide it, but come on, this is really ugly, all right? Camera on the tripod, I'll be right back. I'm going to just go at it and remove everything, including that stuff right here. All right, and the reason why I need to remove this is because it's not flush to the wall, it's protruding, and I want the beadboard to go straight. So let me see if I can just pull this thing. Ugh, nope. All right, so I'm gonna have to go at it and try to get the glue. So I was able to remove one part, and I just want to show you. See the trench that's in there? It's a good, let me see, It's about this deep, so it's about 3 inches deep, and that's really the foundation of the house. The plastic thing that I'm removing, this thing right here, is what's basically underneath the floor. It's one of those bubbly thing, I guess, and the water just goes through it in case of a flood. So let me remove this part right here, and then when I come back, the whole trench will be cleared out. The joy of having an old house. Built in 1928, completed in 1929. I can't put the beadboard all the way to the bottom, and I'm going to show you why. So it's nice to discover stuff, but I would rather discover some old newspaper from the 20s rather than a cast iron pipe, y'all. And there's a hole, and I don't know if you can see it, all the way in there. Let me see if I can focus. Okay, if I put my finger in there, it's wet. So this is definitely working as a trench going into the sump pump. That's how the sump pump gets its water, right? So because every hour or so, there's water that gets discharged on the curb in the front of the house that's being expelled by the sump pump. So the sump pump is working good. However, this is obviously one of those drilled holes that they have into the foundation that allows the water to sip into the trench and go to the sump pump, all right? And it's humid here, so I can't close this. So what I'm gonna do is probably redo the system that they had here, but I'm gonna box it in at a later time, not today, because today I want to do something else. I'm gonna do a box, you know, like a L-shaped box that's gonna have holes in it, and basically what it's gonna do is that it's gonna cover this whole area like this. So there's going to be a ledge here, and then the front panel here with all the holes, so I can have aeration. And then that will allow to continue to have this, because if I do the beadboard all the way up to here, even if I go above the pipe, right, and I'm not touching that pipe, I'm not trying to figure out what it's for. I'm sure it's a drainage pipe of sort. It's cast iron, so I think it's original. If I do that, the moisture is going to totally ruin the beadboard, so I'm not doing that. So the beadboard is going to basically start here, right? And this part here, I will have the box over it with the front panel with all the holes, and then that would be that. So at least I cleaned it up, and we all agreed this was really ugly. So if I box it in, it's probably gonna look a little bit better. But hey, the basement used to be green because there's a paint left over. Okay, so I've cleaned this up. I'll come up with a system at a later time. So what I'm gonna do now is continue what I had planned on doing. I'm going to insulate the pipe here and start working on creating the ledge for it. And then I'll do the beadboard all the way up again to here, and then from here on it'll be painted with dry lock and then the little box. So yep. And to cover the pipe, I found these. These are fiberglass insulation tubes, and then on the inside they have the reflecting aluminum foil thing. I don't know if you can see that. The advantage of it is that it's insulating. You just open it like this. Try to not touch the fiberglass too much, right? And you just put it directly onto your pipe. So it's going to help me insulate this pipe, and then I'm probably going to go underneath the staircase here and put some more on the rest of the pipe, so that way it's really insulated. But there's something here, and I'm hoping you can see it. It's that little thing right here, that little ring. The plant that I have, and you'll know why I'm doing this, I have to remove this because this is going to get in the way. First of all, I got to continue the insulation, so I have another piece I need to cut and fit here. But the plan is to put a 2x4 here, and that's going to be my nailer for the box. And the 2x4 can only fit if I remove this thing. So I'm going to get some pliers and remove this ring here. It's very soft metal, so it shouldn't be too difficult. I should stop playing with it because I'm going to end up cutting myself. I'm learning a whole bunch of stuff here because I went on the internet and I found out that those holes are called weeping hole. And the cinder blocks that are the foundations of the house, you know, they're hollow inside, right? Well, each one can actually hold a gallon of water. And that water goes down as, you know, of course, you would have to have a serious flood outside for them to fill up, right? But anyway, those holes are meant to drain that water into the little gutter that I have alongside of the foundation so that it can go all the way to the sump pump on the other side. So I definitely don't want to plug that hole. And it's the way houses used to be made. So I read an article that said that old houses were not blocking out moisture and making everything tight the way new houses are. They were actually allowing the house to breathe. So you would have moisture coming in and moisture coming out because the house would kind of, you know, do its natural cycle of breathing in and out. That's why you have old basements that smell like moisture and everything. Not always pleasant when you compare to new houses, but they're saying that the new house system where everything is super tight and you totally don't allow any moisture and anything from the outside to breathe through the house is actually not necessarily a great thing. So I'm definitely not going to address this. I'm just going to cover it in a prettier way than it was before. I'm going to allow the house to do its thing because that's basically what it's doing. I'm wondering what they did on the sides where they sheetrock and kind of pushed out the walls. Obviously, they still exist in the behind it, but how is that affecting the 2x4s, the framing, and the insulation they put behind the sheetrock, right? I'm really curious. I'm not going to bust a wall just to see what's behind it, but I'm very curious how they manage this problem over there. Now, the pipe that's there, I'm gonna go and crawl at some point underneath my deck. And I'm wondering if this is the pipe that was an old spigot that was on the other side of the house, because the house didn't have a deck when they built it originally. So it would be interesting to see if this is a pipe that goes to an old spigot. It's not leaking or anything, so I'm definitely not gonna mess around with it and create a huge problem. But I do appreciate the knowledge that I'm getting from this, because it was puzzling me the way they had this thing before. They obviously just patched it really fast and didn't really care about the aesthetic value of it, but I do. So at a later time, maybe I'll make a video out of it. I'll cover that and make it look pretty, but I'm definitely leaving the system the way it is. I don't have any mold. It's doing its job. It was actually venting well. That's why I want to continue to let it vent well by creating a box with the holes in front of it so that if there is a flood in the basement, the water can drain into the trench, and then the water that comes from the weeping hole can still drain into the trench, and I can still aerate that area. Does it make sense? Okay, so let me explain to you what I plan on doing here. So I'm going to show you my plan using small pieces because it's going to be too cumbersome for me to show it to you any other way. All right, so I have the pipe right here, right? Right. So the 2x4 is basically going to go like this. So it's going to be snug on this side here and snug on this side here. I will toenail it over here into the instep of the stair, right? And that is going to be used as a nailer. So it's going to be glued. I have some special masonry glue. It's going to be glued. It's got to be leveled, okay? And that's going to be a nailer. So there's going to be one piece that's going to go this way. And that's going to be nailed in several places right here, right? So we're going to keep this piece here. I don't have another piece to show you. Okay, so we'll figure it out. So there's going to be a piece like this. And then there's going to be a piece like this that's going to be nailed into the piece that's on top. You following? Okay. So that's basically going to be an L shape. I'm going to insert like this, right? And that's going to be nailed onto that. So the main support is going to be the nailer in the back. And this part here is pretty much going to be flush. So if I take a piece like this and I do this, it's going to be really, really flush to the wall. All right. The problem is that I have no confidence that this ledge here is straight. So there's probably going to be a gap like this at some point underneath it, and that's fine. Because it's going to be nailed anyway. I just got to make sure that I'm probably going to have to rip it, meaning that I'm going to have to cut a part of it, and I'm going to have to measure everything so that it stays leveled, right? And I will cut enough of the edges so that I can have that straight part here, because if I go like this, I'm pretty sure that this is going upward instead of staying straight. So no matter what, I'm going to have to figure out a way where this piece here is going to basically stay leveled, but it's going to be flushed with this wall right here. And I'm going to apply my beadboard directly onto this part of the concrete here, which is dry because the moisture is at the bottom, remember? So all of this is dry, so the beadboard is going to go straight onto this, and it's going to go over here, right? And with the part that's on top here, then what I'll do is that I'll do the crown molding over here so that I can really attach it, and it's going to be all the way on the side over there, and it's going to be a little bit over here. I don't think you can see, but that's basically the goal. So right now what I need to do is take a 2x4 that I have that is too long for this area. I need to measure exactly from this end here to the end over there so that I can insert my 2x4 like this, right? And glue it with my super strong masonry glue and put the level on it so that it's really nicely leveled. And that will be the support for the entire box that's gonna go over here. I'm realizing that with the pipe right here, I can't insert this. The pipe is blocking it, so I'm probably gonna have to remove a portion of the insulation until, yeah, right here it's not allowing me. So I'm gonna have to cut the insulation here so that the 2x4 can continue all the way to the end. All right, so let me measure, let me cut it and insert it, and then maybe we'll get a better idea of what I'm trying to accomplish here. 2x4 is inserted, and you don't have to remove the pipe, at least not the insulation. And guess what? It's leveled, so that's just perfect. All I have to do now, I'm going to get my super strong masonry all-purpose hard as nail, whatever they call it, I'll show you, glue thing, and I'm going to insert it here in the gap, push this in, and really get it to bond on the concrete, because I don't want this thing to move. And then a couple of hours later, as I'm doing everything else, I'm going to toenail it right here into this piece here, and I will toenail it right here into this piece here. And yeah, I made a little mark here, but that's all right, that's gonna get repainted anyway. To my surprise, there's no 2x4 here in the corner. It's just sheetrock. I don't know how they managed that, but okay. So if I push too hard here, this is actually going to cave in. So that's the reason why I wanted it to have a snug fit and not have to kind of do any kind of contraptions, because I really don't have anything here to anchor it, because there's no 2x4. I'm hoping there's one here, but it doesn't feel like it at all. No, I don't know how they built this thing, but anyway, this is where I am at. So let me get my strong bond. I'm going to show you what it is and apply it, and then I'll move on to something else. This is what I've got. I found that today at the Home Depot. It's called PL Max Premium, strongest 100% solid, most durable, fast grab, repositionable, bonds all material, and weatherproof. Okay. And it works on wood, laminate, OSB, I don't know what that is, drywall, concrete, brick, masonry, stone, marble, granite, mirrors, metal, stainless steel, vinyl, PVC, foam board, tile, ceramic, porcelain fiberglass, and I'm going to assume fingers too. Okay, so all I want to do is put enough in the back of it and really push this thing in. It can't go any more down, which is good. So it's yeah, it's leveled. I was gonna put shims and stuff to try to get it to be level, but no, it's level. Beautiful. That's work for me. Right, so I'm gonna put it all the way here in the back and let it really drip in it, and then I'm gonna push this thing in. But quite frankly, it's really not moving too much right now. It's not pushing the pipe, which is good. And then I'll toenail it. So yeah, let me try this thing. Here's another one of my contraptions to make sure I hold this thing in place. You see, this is pushing it against the corner over there so that the glue can set in. And then over here, it's basically on a tension with the post I installed earlier. So yeah, it's inconvenient. I gotta go underneath to go upstairs. But for now, while this is setting, and I don't know why I'm not in focus, it's holding it in place. So yep. Sometimes you just gotta be creative. You can see from that angle, but here's my top board, right? And I got lucky because I measured in order to be flush, right? So that the board stops exactly at this part here. It's exactly 4.5, and that's the pretty much the width of a regular board. So I just had to cut it to size. So it's not placed in yet because it's a little bit too long. I'm gonna have to sand it a little bit on the sides. Why am I not keeping the focus? I do not know. Let me move back. So what I'm gonna do is put glue all the way on top of the 2x4. Where's my finger? Right here, right? And then glue on the edges of that one, inner edge and bottom edge. And I'm gonna place that in, pound it in, and I'm gonna put nails throughout. And that's going to hold it in place on the top. I don't need to sand it because that was already pre-sanded. Thank you, Home Depot. It's very nice and smooth, so I'm not gonna have to sand it before I paint, but hey, you know what, I probably will anyway. So let me do that, and when I come back, what I'll do is that I'll put the piece of wood that goes in the front. I can see all sorts of possibilities with this. Imagine if I was putting like a thin rail, right? You know, like one of those little I don't know what you call them. It's like a little rail. It's got like little pegs right on the rail, and then I could put some stuff here for decoration, and they would not slide off. That would look really good, right? Except that, of course, I would constantly have to dust it. So I just created, in essence, one more area to dust. Okay, so finishing nails, zoop, 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 through the whole thing. to hold it in place, and then I'm gonna cut my other piece, and my other piece is gonna go just like that, ladies and gentlemen, just like that. It's going to go, and it's going to be perfect. Hey, silly me, I forgot I put a light right here, you see? Haha. Okay, I don't think I'm gonna put the piece that's right here. I'll tell you why, because this is really hard, the beadboard, and I can't just, because this is flush to the wall, the way I calculated it. And if I put this, right here, of course it's getting glued on the wall. I'm trying to move it, okay. And like that, right? It gets glued to the wall, and I can nail it into this piece here, and then I can have my little molding over it. And this part here that's hollow, I'm telling you, you can't bust it in, because it's only about this much, and this is really hard. So I don't think I'm gonna do that. I think I'm just gonna apply it that way. Yeah. So all I have to do is put a lot of glue on the back of this, and a lot of glue on the concrete, and then probably have one knee, because I'm working, I like to work by myself, holding it like that, right? And then I'll just, if I put just 2 of them at first, it gives me enough leverage to start putting in the other ones, and then I'll be done. And yeah, I'm trying to, now it won't cave in. I don't need to put that piece of wood. It was a great idea though, but it's, I don't need to put it in. Let me tell you, this thing here is solid. So yeah, because the 2x4 is in the back, so that's, 2x4s are the best nailers. You can do anything you want with those. They are solid as rock. Okay, I think it's tea time for me. I'm gonna have a tea and wash my hands, because those nails, they leave your fingers all black. And then I'll come back and I'll do that. I have the neighbors, landscapers. Sorry about the noise. I'll come back when the landscapers are not landscaping. How about that? Okay, done. I added it, and right now it's glued, but I only have 2 nails really. One here, and this one I didn't even drive it all the way in. So what I'm going to do is the piece that's missing over there, and then I'll put the molding, the corner molding here, which is the what you call it, a corner molding, I think. And I'll nail the molding onto this, and I'll grab that at the same time. Now the bottom, this is what it looks like, because I lifted it, right? So I'm probably gonna put a piece right here to finish it off, and then I'll leave this empty, because this got to be filled up eventually at a later time. But yeah, and then I have to do the quarter mold here in the corner, and that will be it. So I don't know if you can really appreciate what it looks like, but it closes it up very nicely, and I still have to do the quarter around here on the steps. So let me put this piece here at the corner. It's the same process on the other side. I'm just gonna you know, cut a piece and put it in there, and then I'll come back to the molding. I cleaned up the whole area, which really it needed. Okay, so it's all done and it's been caulked. I have the quarter round here in the corner. I don't know if you can see it because there's a shadow. So, but anyway, it's caulked, right? And then all of this here has been caulked as well, and on the underside, right? And then this area here is done as well. It's I had a little bit of a problem here, but once it's painted you won't see it. And yeah, this is solid. Hey Willie,
what?
Do me a favor, walk on that ledge. Alright.
Not the same like the old ledge.
But it works, right? And it's not creaking. Keep walking.
If I fall, I'm suing.
Suing who?
The people who made the house.
No, I made this. Okay, there's no creaking. Good, you can get off. Do you know what that means, right? No creaking? Solid. I'm happy.
I can now sneak down to the basement in the middle of the night.
No, you're not doing that. Okay, so this is done. I'm very happy with it. It looks super, super clean. I mean, it's not painted, so, you know, it will look much better. And I remember I still have to do the quarter mold, right? On the edges like I did on the other side. So that's going to finish it off. Now I have this here. What do I do with this? I don't know. I'm probably going to put another piece here, right? And then this part here, I think I'm just going to box it in, like I said, with some holes at the bottom. I'm going to get a plumber at some point to come in because I need him to check on this pipe. I don't know what this pipe is for. I hope that's not a pipe that was just cut off and left like that. I don't know where it goes. It's not showing on the other side of my deck. So on the other side of the house. So I don't know why there's a pipe here. Bizarre. I need a plumber to come over and look at it. So in the meantime, I'll just box this in. It's not going to be more than 3 inches out of, you know, this way. So it's not going to be too much of an eyesore. No matter what, it's going to be better than what I had before. And that's that. So next time you'll see me, I'll be doing the top part. And it's going to be pretty much the same system. I'll have a shelf. Where's my hand? Right here. I have a shelf going up to here. And then the beadboard will go all the way like this and will be tacked to that shelf. And I'll have the same molding like this on the edges. Here it'll probably just go flush to that, and then I'll put the quarter around here and there. And then at the end there will be a hollow kind of hole, so I'll have to figure out a template for that. But yep, that's it. And I can't wait to see the whole thing completed because I think it's gonna look really, really good once it's painted. With the gray, by the way, you all said gray, so we'll do gray. And the white and the insteps are going to be painted. This is going to look really good. And then I'll do a gallery right here of artwork, family pictures, and other things. So it's time for me to say goodbye. I'm going to turn off the light if I can. Yep. And that will be it. I'm going to go and edit this video. Maybe you'll see it the same day, tonight, Saturday, or you'll see it tomorrow. It's movie night, so we're gonna have a good time tonight. I'm gonna relax, hopefully no more calls, and then that will be it. So hey, give me a big thumbs up if you like this idea on how I frame that pipe, and hey, I like it. Okay, and I think I did a good job. So I don't say that often, but I think I did a pretty good job on this one. So give me a thumbs up if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe right here in the corner if you want to see the other part and this continued series on my basement staircase makeover. And I will see you next time. Thanks for watching, you guys. Bye.